Social media influencers are right at the top of the news right now. Hi, I'm Carrie Peterson with Superior Reach. I wanted to sit down today with you as a previous business owner online and talk to you now with my experience with that business about the power of social media and how brands use social media influencers. You know, Dublin is a woman that had credibility and she had experience. And recently she contacted a hotel to see if they wanted to have her stay there, and in turn she would give them the experience, review, feedback. Well, what they did was they took the email that she sent them and they screenshotted it, put it on the internet, and basically did a smear campaign on her. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about my experience in social media, how it benefited my business. I had an e-commerce business that went international, how it benefited my business, and how companies can and should be using social media to their advantage instead of trashing social media influencers. So the first thing I want to do is talk to you about technically what is a social media influencer. A social media influencer is somebody that has credibility on the internet with their social media following, and what they do is they approach companies or brands. They want to promote their product or service, and they go and either stay at the location, go to the restaurant, use the product, and then they tell their followers about the product or service. Now, somebody explain to me how that's any different than somebody like The Rock or any celebrity endorsing a product. They're not only endorsing the product, they're getting paid to endorse the product, okay? Now, the reason companies use celebrities and athletes to do that is because their status, their following, takes what they say as valuable, okay, as influential. And I see what's happening on social media. So social media influencers are promoting brands for them. What I don't understand is why that is a problem. Why a company would be offended by that. You see, there's a few things, I'm going to grab my notes here. There's a few things when you're trying to grow a brand or a company online that enable you to grow your business online. Okay, there's things that come to the forefront of your mind that you want to do initially and eventually to grow your brand and grow your revenue. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to be found, okay? Getting found online has a lot of different steps, and I help companies to do that with Superior Reach, but I want to talk about when you have a product or a service and you build your website and you set up your social media pages, you still have to find people to see your product. Okay, so you're going to create engagement online, you're going to talk about your product online, you're going to create a following online. And social media influencers, they enable the companies to be found very quickly because usually they have thousands and thousands, if not millions of followers that are going to listen about the product and hear what they have to say, to review the product, and it gives them instant credibility, instant rapport with their potential client or customer, okay? So the first thing you want to do is you want to be found online. The second thing you want to do is be competitive. Now, it's very competitive online because anybody can start a business online, anybody can, you know, drop ship products, but getting credibility is something that using a social media influencer does for you. It gives you your foot in the door, it gives you instant reviews, it gives people that trust factor, right? Because they have these customers considering their product or considering their service, and what happens is these social media influencers bring their expertise to the table, and they bring their followers to the table to discuss this product and give feedback. So that is a very important thing for a brand or a product or service, okay? The third thing you want to do is generate revenue. One of the things that you have to do when you're building a company, especially online, people are skeptical, so you want to make sure that you have that trust factor for somebody to try your product, to buy your product, to return and buy your product. And reviews are great, But to have somebody giving you a shout out to thousands of people instantly for the price or the cost of you giving them a free night stay or a free product, or even sending them product quarterly or monthly, it is absolutely worth it. It is so competitive online to get your brand or your product out there that any benefit that you can have, any help that you can have of somebody to come alongside you and endorse your product and help it is very beneficial to your business. The other thing is growing your customer base is something that is an ongoing process, okay? So you're not just going to have somebody endorse your product once. You're probably going to want to set up a relationship with them and have them endorsing your new product line or your new pricing, new service. Maybe each time of the year you do seasonal things, and so maybe they help you promote seasonal items. Usually social media influencers have a connection with one another, and so if you're set up with one, chances are you have access to others. So it's a network. And I think that what this man, this owner of this company, didn't realize is that not only does she have followers that value her about the service, but she has a whole network of bloggers and people that do vlogging and people that do the exact same thing she does. So what he did was he just tarnished his business reputation by trying to smear her. Now there is people that had an input that it was her just trying to get a handout and all this kind of stuff. You know, I don't think people realize how hard people work on social media. I myself, when I was building my brand, I would spend hundreds of hours online interacting with people, building rapport with people one by one by one. Then they would purchase my product or service, and then they would go tell their friends, okay? And that was great, but it was a very, very slow, meticulous process. If you use a social media influencer and they specialize in the niche that you're in, the product or service, and they are somebody that has a lot of influence in that area, you're instantly getting access and reviews and input from somebody that has a lot of power. It's much more powerful than a billboard or a radio commercial or a email testimonial campaign or anything like that. So you're getting a shout out. They're using their platform to shout out your product. They've invested a very long time building their following, and they're giving you a shout out. So it makes no sense to me why somebody would be so vicious to not only turn her down, but to absolutely trash her name. So, you know, growing a company online can be very difficult, but it doesn't have to be. And so what I help people do is build their brand online, first of all, tell their story and tell their company purpose and tell about their products. And if you're struggling with that area, feel free to private message me, and we will sit down and come up with a individualized marketing plan for you to grow your business online. If you have any questions or concerns about how you can do that, I look forward to speaking with you. Thanks for joining me.